Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine Army and Allies launch initial planning conference for Salaknib 2026. 4030 Infantry Brigade ensures dignified burial for fallen NPA members. Senate Blue Ribbon Committee to investigate flood control anomalies. House starts hearings on proposed 2026 national budget.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Monday, August 18, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I'm Rof Susan Abba here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Philippine Army successfully held the initial planning conference for Salaknib 2026 at its Support Command Officers Clubhouse recently. Vice Commander Major General Efren Morados led the activity with officers from various Army units, joined by counterparts from the United States Army Pacific, Australian Army, and Japan Ground Self-Defense Force. The discussions focused on possible scenarios, logistics, and coordination measures to ensure safety and success in the upcoming exercise. Early collaboration set the foundation for a stronger alliance and enhanced security ahead of Salaknib 2026.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 4030 Infantry Brigade, led by Brigadier General Sigfred Tubalado, assisted the families of four deceased CPP-NPA members after a recent encounter in north-central Mindanao. Troops recovered the bodies, airlifted them despite the poor weather, and coordinated with the local government units, Philippine National Police, and agencies to ensure a prompt and respectful handover. Families received full support with documents, transport, and burial needs. Brigadier General Tubalado stressed the brigade's commitment in protecting lives and upholding humanity, urging the fighters to abandon misguided ideologies and return to their families.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now some information from Shira about MBLT-5 troops rescue injured dolphin, lead coastal cleanup in Maguindanao del Norte.
Yes, good afternoon. The Marine Battalion Landing Team 5 swiftly responded to a resident's report of a stranded dolphin in Barangay Meti Datu Blas in Suwat, Maguindanao del Norte. Marines discovered the dolphin alive with visible wounds and with the help of locals safely released it back into the sea. Moreover, Marines from Kinimi Detachment also joined barangay officials and residents in a coastal cleanup in Barangay Kinimi. The activities highlight the Marines' commitment to environmental protection and community partnership. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 4th Infantry Division neutralized 4 New People's Army terrorists and seized a high-powered firearm in an encounter in Barangay Dumalaging, Impasugong, Bukidnon. Acting on civilian reports, combined troops from 6 Army units launched coordinated operations supported by close air and artillery fire. The firepower suppressed the enemy forces while protecting soldiers from landmine threats. On the other hand, 4th ID Commander Major General Michel Anayron Jr. emphasized that the victory reflects strong committee-soldier partnership and renewed his call for remaining NPA members to surrender and end the senseless armed struggle.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Naval Forces Eastern Mindanao deployed BRP Artemio Ricardo and Philippine Coast Guard vessel BRP Capones from General Santos City. It was for the third leg of coordinated patrol or Corpat Pelindo with the Indonesian Navy. The bilateral patrol aims to boost border security, deter maritime threats, and enhance interoperability among the Philippine Navy, Philippine Coast Guard, and Indonesian Navy. Officials said the exercise strengthens bilateral ties and supports maritime safety, resource protection, and regional stability.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let's hear the report of Richmond about new Philippine Marine Corps headquarters nears completion in Bataan.
The Philippine Marine Corps is set to move into its new headquarters at Morong Discovery Park, Bataan, as construction nears completion. During a recent inspection, Bases Conversion and Development Authority Chairperson Attorney Larry Paredes noted major progress, with the facade almost finished, glass panels installed, and interior works ongoing. By mid-September, the lobby, facade formation ground, commandant's office, and conference room will be ready. The project aims to provide the Marines with a modern, purpose-built home worthy of their service to the nation. This is Mon reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mon.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity turned over 100 new houses to Moro National Liberation Front members in Mabuhay, Zamboanga, Sibugay. The 40 million pesos housing project was implemented under OPAPRU's Pamana program and DSWD's Modified Shelter Assistance Program. OPAPRU Executive Director Cesar de Mesa said the homes symbolize unity and provide MNLF members a chance to rebuild their lives as peaceful and productive citizens. OPAPRU Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. reaffirmed the government's commitment to peace agreements and reintegration efforts in Mindanao.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will begin investigating alleged corruption in flood control projects. Committee Chairperson Senator Rodante Marcoleta said they will dig into reports of anomalous practices in the procurement, awarding, and implementation of flood control infrastructure. Marceta admitted that it would be challenging given the size of the problem, but he believes that the committee can investigate the issue thoroughly, and with public cooperation, they can identify those responsible.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Shaina about Philippine Army showcases firepower in live fire exercise in Maguindanao del Sur.
Yes, Rof. 61st Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Edgar Catu led a successful live fire exercise in Datu Unsay, Maguindanao del Sur. The activity was part of the culmination of the 6th Field Artillery Battalion's external security operations training. The drill carefully tested the artillery's troop accuracy, speed, and coordination in delivering fire support to maneuver units of the 6th Infantry Division. Brigadier General Catu lauded the artillery's men professionalism and emphasized their vital role in ensuring peace and security in central Mindanao. This is Shaina Raneta reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaina.
DWDD National News.
The Commission on Audit will launch a fraud audit of flood control projects in Bulacan. COA Chairperson Gamaliel Cordoba said that given the critical issues raised by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. regarding the implementation of these projects, a fraud audit is an immediate and unequivocal necessity. The order covers projects of the Department of Public Works and Highways in the province. Last August 11, President Marcos launched the Sumbong sa Pangulo website in which citizens can report suspected anomalous flood control projects.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Public Works and Highways has implemented several flood control projects in Quezon City even without the approval and proper coordination with the local government. Mayor Joy Belmonte said they are compiling a list of all flood control projects that the national government had implemented in the city. She said the engineers are checking all flood control projects that were not coordinated with the city government. After that, they have to study if these projects are appropriate and effective. The Quezon City Mayor also emphasized that the City Council passed an ordinance in 2020 requiring the coordination for all project planning and implementation to be rolled out in Quezon City.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Ferdy's second ID honors wounded soldiers for bravery in Mindoro clash.
Good day everyone. The 2nd Infantry Division honored 3 wounded soldiers in a ceremony at Armed Forces of the Philippines Medical Center in Quezon City. 2ID Commander Major General Ramon Zagala and 1st Scout Ranger Regiment Commander Brigadier General Isagani Criste awarded a Wounded Personnel Medal to troops injured in a clash with CPP-NPA terrorists in Baco, Oriental Mindoro last August 12. Major General Sagala praised their courage. He said that their sacrifices reflect the Army's highest ideals of service and dedication in protecting the people. This is Ferdy Blues reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ferdy.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the House of Representatives will start the hearings today on the 6.793 trillion pesos proposed national budget for 2026. The hearings will kick off with members of the Development Budget Coordination Committee briefing the House Committee on Appropriations. Budget Secretary Mena Pangandaman, Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan Jr., Finance Secretary Ralph Recto, and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Eli Ramolona Jr. will brief the House. The hearings will be live streamed on the House's Facebook page.
DWDD National
The
News.
Department of Health has reported a significant drop in daily leptospirosis cases. The infections are now down to 10 per day from the nearly 200 recorded in the second week of August. From June 8 to August 14, a total of 3,752 leptospirosis cases were reported nationwide. Despite the positive development, the DOH said leptospirosis fast lanes in hospitals across the country will continue to operate.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Kath about AFP launches Weave for Peace livelihood program in Cagayan de Oro.
Yes, Rolf, good noon. The Armed Forces of the Philippines, in partnership with the Bayo Foundation and AFP Officer Ladies Club Incorporation, launched the Weave for Peace program in Cagayan de Oro City. The initiative trains military dependents in weaving marketable products from recycled uniforms, promoting livelihood and sustainability. The 4th Infantry Division served as the pilot site, with Bayo trainers and DOST PTRI providing technical guidance. AFP-OLCI vowed to expand the program nationwide to strengthen family welfare and community empowerment. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health reported a 21% drop in rabies cases compared to last year. From January 1 to August 2, the DOH documented 211 rabies cases nationwide, whereas 266 cases were recorded during the same period last year. But Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa emphasized that rabies remained a fatal disease, with 100% mortality once symptoms appeared. Herbosa further explained that rabies is preventable through vaccination, but once symptoms manifest, it is almost always fatal. The DOH revealed that 57% of rabies cases this year involved pets or stray animals whose vaccination status was unknown.
DWDD National News.
National Bureau of the Investigation Director Jaime Santiago has resigned from his post. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro confirmed that Santiago filed his resignation but did not disclose other details. Castro also said President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has yet to accept Santiago's resignation. In his letter addressed to the president dated, Santiago said he was tendering his irrevocable resignation effective immediately upon the appointment of his replacement. He also cited that his detractors and those who have a sinister interest in his position insistently make moves to blemish his reputation.
DWDD National News.
Senate Minority Leader Vicenta Soto III has filed a bill requiring employers in the private sector to grant their workers 14-month pay. This aims to ease the burden of rising costs. The senator said he filed the bill to help Filipino families cope with educational expenses. He noted that Presidential Decree 851, which requires all employers to pay their employees a 30-month pay, was enacted in 1976. Soto further explained that for almost 5 decades, the needs and cost of living of every Filipino worker have drastically changed. Thus, it is high time that employees in the private sector receive their 14-month pay.
DWDD National News.
The Bureau of Corrections is set to release 5,000 more persons deprived of liberty this year. They will focus on those who have already served their sentences or are legally entitled to freedom as part of government efforts to ease jail congestion. Bucor Director General Gregorio Catapan Jr. announced the target during the Department of Justice Section Center's Katarungan Caravan held at the new Bilibid Prison Medium Security Camp in Muntinlupa City. Katapang said that only PDLs who have completed their sentence or qualified through legal remedies such as good conduct time allowance, parole, executive clemency, or appeal are being released.
DWDD National News.
Online gambling operators have begun migrating to encrypted messaging and e-commerce applications, according to Senator Erwin Tulfo. Tulfo said the fight against the accessibility of gambling to the public is far from over, and they will do their best to work with the private sector and other stakeholders to come up with a holistic approach in addressing this problem. The senator noted that while e-wallet companies followed the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas 48-hour deadline from August 14 to remove gambling links from their apps, operators are doubling efforts to shift to platforms such as Viber, Telegram, Lazada, and other mobile applications. He cited the case of Bingo Plus, which informed its patrons that the games remain accessible through encrypted messaging.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Ralph Susan Abay for AFP Committee News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.